have a bunch of time, but he's revealing that you can see it right there. I have a mounting block in here with some items on it, like the surcingle and different lines and ropes. I have a list of different things I want to work on today, see how much of it I get through. Starting with that forward work we ended with yesterday. We actually did that for most of the time yesterday. And then introducing long lining, and then we'll see what else we got. But those are the two main ones. Maybe introduction to tying, maybe picking up front feet, we'll see. Just because we did a lot of moving off of the flag yesterday, I'm just gonna start him with heading with it. That way he doesn't feel like it's always something that is pushing him. Good boy. We started to work on some of the desensitizing in motion too. That'll be a topic for a later day. Good boy. Okay, I don't want to get excited too soon, but do you see what his first reaction was this time when I asked him to send out? Instead of immediately trotting off, these past two times, there's the hole. He went right into that walk. Good boy. Good, so I'm actually going to have him face up and I'm going to pet him. So for facing up, I just pick up on that lead rope. Good boy. Good. So now after he walks out, I'll push him into the trot. So smart. Good boy. You can tell there's a decent amount of hay in this pen now because he opened up his hay bag, I think he did this yesterday, and put it everywhere inside his pen. So that's really nice. Good boy. I'm going to pick a different spot to ask him to turn in towards me. Good boy. Okay. Yeah, you're smart. Good boy. Good job. Trot. Trot. Okay, so much better. I love Mustangs because it can seem like, for example, yesterday, yeah, we made some progress, but there was still a lot of that pulling and tugging with the head, and it wasn't quite as soft as I wanted it to be. But he needed to sit on it and sleep, and now it's so much better. Come here, buddy. He really wants to check that stuff out in a little bit. Good boy. Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is a little bit of prep for the long lining. So what I'll do with my rope is I'm going to toss it over his head. Good boy. Move it further down on his back. Good, and I wouldn't be surprised if he moves sooner than he would have before. Because he's used to now being sent forward and moving and keeping that forward momentum. Good boy. So what I'm going to do is toss it so it's around his bootay. Add a little bit of pressure, and I'm looking for that nose to turn and give to the pressure and him to turn around and come back to me. And that's what it should look like when they understand how to do it. He's like, I'm a pro. Good man. Really good. So things I loved about that is reaction to the rope. First off, me moving it down his back. He was, I would say, slightly stiff to it and maybe a little bit frozen, not fully though. but I liked that he stood still and he was thinking and he was waiting. I liked that when it got around his hind end, he didn't panic. I loved that when I picked up the pressure, he gave with his nose. There was seriously nothing he did wrong with that. So now we will go the other direction. Oh my gosh, please don't rain. It's starting to sprinkle. No. Good boy. Good boy. Add a little pressure, see if you can turn that nose and give. He wants to touch what's on that box. We'll go over to that in a second, buddy. Good. As soon as he starts that turn, I let there be slack in the rope so he can really understand that that is a release. That's what I'm looking for. That was the right answer. You're such a good man. You want to check out this box? Come on. Is it good? So we will go ahead and pop this surcingle back on. You remember this? We did this yesterday. So what I like to do after they initially get introduced to something is see how normal I can just put it on them and go about, you know, cinching it up or moving them or depending what I'm putting on my horse. And if they have a moment of tension, then of course I backtrack and go back to being patient, but this is how you start to progress them to that next step, is you start to treat them a little more like normal. So remember yesterday with the girthing up, yep, we had a little bit of that backing up reaction. He was kind of like, what the heck is that? Now with all of my horses, even my green beans that have been under saddle for a month and are like getting ridden every single day lightly because they're young, but I always girth up slow. Maybe I'm a little excessively slow when they're like this new, but I'm always slow to do it because I just think about it. I don't want someone like pulling really hard and yanking up, I don't know, something around my midsection. And there's no reason to go fast. I'm not in a rush to get anything going. That's how you can keep your horse pleasant a little bit longer. You know, some horses will make faces when they're getting cinched up, or they'll try to turn around and bite. And that usually comes from, you know, them being ignored over time with what they're saying. So like this guy right now is saying to me that he's not so sure about what we're doing, which is fine. I kind of just wait here and be patient. Boy. So I'm still just going up at a steady pace with him. And I'm not going to correct the backing up right now, right? The priority is just getting this on and having him feel a little more comfortable with it. And if right now he's trying to answer, whether it's because he's uncomfortable or he thinks it's the answer, he's backing up. To me, you pick what you want to work on at that moment, and the backing up isn't it for me. So I just ignore it for now. And later on, maybe when he's had girth pressure, like 10 times or so, maybe 8 times, it just depends on the horse, then I start to correct and be like, hey, no, actually step forward. Hey, we're going to stand still. You're going to place your feet right where we started. But right now, not a big deal. It's the second time with it on. So now before I go ahead and put these long lines on, I'm going to ask him to move again. And I think I put it on one hole tighter than I did yesterday. So we will at least go walk trot. Good boy. Good boy. Good man. Good boy. Good job. That blocks the safety area, huh? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put these long lines on. So we will see if we have enough forward momentum for this or not. Not the biggest deal if we don't. My main thing right now is making sure that he's okay with the feeling of the rope on each side and maybe a little bit of forward momentum. So when I'm doing long lining, he's also not used to me being behind him, so that'll be a new concept for him. I always toss one line over the neck and or back so I can safely start on the other side. I don't just walk around behind them and get situated, if that makes sense. Let me step him up. I don't know if you guys can see this. I think I'm half in frame. There you go, good boy. So I've got that outside rope over his neck right now. What I'm going to do is ask him to walk out like normal, the way we've been practicing. And then I will go ahead and toss this over his back as he's moving more. His response, because he's like, wait a second, when I had this rope on before, I was supposed to turn and give to it. Well, I liked his response of slowing down and thinking. Good, here's our first test. He's like, how about facing up? Nope, I want you to turn your head. Yes. Good boy. There you go. Good man. Not too bad with me in that blind spot. So today for the long lining, ideally, we're just going to keep it at the walk. If he goes into trot, that's fine. It's just not my intention. Good boy. Lots of different things we can do long lining that we'll talk about over time. Teaching them how to halt, teaching them how to steer, teaching them essentially how to move off of inside leg. Oh, we have the rain coming. Please, no. Okay, I'm asking him to halt now, so I'm picking up on both lines, adding a little bit of pressure. Good boy. The second he halts, I release. All right, guys, I'm going to keep working him, but I have to put my camera away. Hopefully this stops, and I will come back. He's just over there waiting right now.